Goodness gracious, I dropped the pick. Where did it go? Dropping the pick. I always drop it at home. Always drop it at home. Hey, I've gotten some feedback on these Dulcimer diaries from people who know me. You know, from one person, really, and you know who you are. And I've known you since the third grade, and he doesn't know quite how to take me on here. Look, I think he's thinking my personality's a little strange. I don't know. What do you do? I know how to get on here and think and talk and do it all off the cuff. I think of something that maybe I'm a little interested in, and then I sit down and I talk about it. Maybe I don't even talk about that. Maybe I just jump into something else. My hands aren't doing great today. I haven't been playing Dulcimer the last week and a half or so. That's probably why I dropped the pick. If I thought I had to get ready for these things, I wouldn't do them. I really wouldn't. And if you've known me since the third grade, I'm probably going to be different on these videos than I am, in real life when we're sitting at a Thai restaurant or something like that. That's funny to me. And this thinking, I guess people aren't used to that in videos. I love that I'm not trying to I love that I'm not trying to do anything specific with these. If you're a beginner, I've got all kinds of ways to encourage you and help you become a better musician with the Dulcimer. If you're an intermediate, I teach all over the place. If you're advanced, I got all kinds of things for you guys. These videos, I know this is crazy, but I'm doing them for me. I'm not doing them for the YouTube algorithm. Of course you could say you're not just doing it for you. It sounds selfish, doesn't it? I need this outlet. I need to be able to just talk shop. That's what this is. A place where I can totally not worry about how it's being received. I don't think that that's a common thing on YouTube. I don't think that's what it is for me, And so you might wonder why I stare and just think sometimes. It's because I need to think about what I'm going to say, Don't they say that? Musicians, one good piece of advice for musicians is hear in your head what you want to do before you do it. If you're an improviser. I think that's good advice. So anyway, I just, if you're wondering if this is me being fake a little bit, maybe. But I think, what else, hello. I mean, how real should we get on these videos? There's another question. Is that even needed? I try to tell the truth. And I try to say things that maybe not everybody wants to hear. And that's important. I think that somebody does it. I've been learning different things. Chinese and Japanese traditional teas, for instance. Well, let's talk about clawhammer banjo. Trying to get better at my clawhammer banjo playing, and you get online and so much stuff is geared towards beginners, beginning, intermediate. And I get it. But if you can already do beginner, intermediate clawhammer banjo, you want something more. That's why I'm driven to interviews with some of the players that are really good. I want to know more. Even if I never get to that level, I want to know about that stuff. This is partly for you too, of course. because I'm trying to do what I wish there was for Dulcimer. Aaron O'Rourke, for instance, if he was doing a video like this, man, I think I would be all over that. I do. He's a great mountain dulcimer player. I wish he was breaking things down all the time, laying them out there. You know? Sarah Morgan, I'd really like to get a lot of what she's thinking. As far as singing and playing, she plays dulcimer and sings, writes amazing songs. Wow. Jerry Rockwell, I wish Jerry would do a thing where he just talks every once in a while. He's had a heck of a life, done all kinds of things. I think what happens with YouTube is, whatever this means, the algorithm they use to figure out who wants to see what. You know, there's certain things it rewards, and me blabbing like this, you know, it's probably not it. These particular videos I make are probably, not all beginners are going to want these. Some will, though. I mean, I notice I release these and sometimes very little happens. Very little. I don't even know how many people are seeing them for real. Especially on Facebook, it'll report like 1,100 views, while YouTube is reporting, 125 views. So I don't want to worry about that. I like to think about my kids one day, maybe running into these after I'm gone, or my grandkids. Maybe they'll be around, maybe they won't. Life's like that. Anyway, this is the real me. If we were talking at a Waffle House, it wouldn't be that different, I don't think. But maybe it should be different. Anyway, I get to get up. And I'm starting to get insecure about these videos. I started thinking, you're making them too long. You're talking too much. Yeah, I probably am, for real. But I don't have the time or the energy or the interest to try to make perfect diary entries. It's a diary entry. And who's the diary? The diary is... Who is the diary? When Emily Dickinson was writing things down on paper, I'm not saying I'm some kind of Emily Dickinson. Who was she writing to? Herself? No one? The universe? God? Some possible future reader? Who cares? One thing I was thinking about today is playing things like you mean it. I'm sure I've probably talked about this before, but it's a strange thing to talk about, because for those of you who do this, you're like, yeah, of course. But some of you struggle with this, and to some degree, doing things like you mean it. Like this, I always think of this. Emotionally, I've got this feeling when I do that. There's a few things I just think sound powerful. That's one of them. You can do it on the bass also. And now when I'm playing that, emotionally, what's going on? I know this is crazy, but it feels like this. Yeah. Something like that. I think when I play a note, I feel it as almost like a long syllable that's in a word that means a very great deal. So, emotionally, if somebody said to you, let's say you're retired. Let's say you're a retired teacher. You had 3 years left, and then 2 years left, and then 1 year left, and then and then you're retired, right? And then 6 months later, they come back to you and they say, would you be willing to come back? We need you to sign a 3-year contract. I'm just making up something. Imagine if you didn't want to do that. What kind of no might come out of your mouth? I know we're all different, but for me, it would be no. No, 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 no. Something like that. What's another example? Hey, you just want a new car. All you've got to do is want it. We'll even pay the taxes for you. I don't think that's legal. But I would say, yes, I want that car. I don't know, man. I don't know. Do you want to get that Jets pineapple chicken pizza with the barbecue sauce? Yes. We're not all alike, But when I play music, those notes that I play, they're like words or syllables that it's not that I just utter them. It's that it takes time to get it out, And I think of it when I see actors do a monologue, something. You can't handle the truth. Well, he's feeling every word, I think. It's what it looks like. So when I play, I want to feel that. And this is something that I sometimes have to remind myself. I have to give myself permission to do it. I have to not worry about what other people think. And I always think of a blowtorch for some reason. Lighting it, turning on. That constant, strong focus. That's what I want to feel when I'm playing. I can't do it all the time, but I try to mostly do it, I can feel when I'm not really feeling it. That's why the face comes in, right? It's like that flame going. Now, I guess we could call this drama in a good way. Dramatic expression. It's what you want when someone asks you to marry them. It's what you want when you offer someone a great job and they're excited to say yes. It's what you want to hear, from a great speech. You want to feel that the person cares. Am I faking it? Sometimes, a little bit. I really believe in fake it and the real thing gushes forth. Fake it a little bit. Especially when I've been out of it musically. Maybe working on office things. And like right now, I feel that way. And here's one of these spiders. There we go. I'm famous for putting animals outside, but not that kind of spider, not that particular kind. All right, back to the topic. Sometimes I have to just pretend a little so the real thing happens. It gets things moving. It's true. I've talked about that before. And there's an intentionality and a burning constance of expression that I can apply to everything. And if I let up, it just starts to limp along. So I don't know. That's something I think that I make a big deal about internally, but I maybe don't teach this a whole lot. I like to listen to musicians who look like they are doing something similar in their way. You know, if they're just going through the motions, even if they really are engaged, but if I feel like they're just going through the motions, or they look like it, the motions, I'm not drawn to it. The human element like that matters to me, and some of that is something we make up in our head, you know. I've talked about these faces before. I've tried to stop making them. They are silly. They look crazy. I don't like it. I don't. When I watch it, I'm embarrassed. I wish I didn't do it. I finally had to quit worrying about that. It's so important, you know, to... I've messed up in my life. I've done stupid things. It's important to not do that. It's important to do better. To be doing better. Always working towards that. But at the same time, there's people who will never jive with you. They will not like what you do, and you must run them off by just being yourself. Now, if being yourself is something terrible, don't do that. You know, but if it's just the faces you make when you play, maybe you just need to find people who are okay with that, I think. It's weird to be a musician. Because on one hand, you're supposed to be open and artistic and doing this thing for the receiver of it. But on the other hand, that's seen as being showing off and as being kind of arrogant and maybe even narcissistic a little bit. It's called show business a little bit, isn't it? I mean, I know these old-time musicians sometimes that I admire so greatly. They'll talk about they don't like show-offs. I swear to you, they're showing off. I don't know. I'm sure they're aware of it, aren't they, a little bit? Maybe I'm reading into what they're doing with my own perspective, but playing for people's a strange thing. Ultimately, I think my best advice, and I think this is true, is you've got to play in a way that you really enjoy. And if you're with other people that you're playing with, play in a way that makes everyone do a better job. And then do it like you mean it. And then let the whole world pick you apart, because that's the way it works, you know. Your mom is going to love you, usually. My mother, she thinks I'm the best, you know. I don't know. Let's play a little. If you've stayed this long, my goodness, you really probably shouldn't have. You need to get some work done, right? What's a tune I don't play? It's hard to think of a tune that I know a little, but not one that I know so much that I play it. How about, there's this Holy, 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 this hymn, and I'm bound to mess this up. Let's jump in and see what happens here. I've written this out in a book, but it's been a long time. And I think the chords scare me, and I just steer away from it when I'm playing live. Boy, it's got some chords in it. Notice how I tried to start with just the Dulcimer version, just melody and drone, and then I tried to work in some of the chords I was sure of, mostly, and then I saved for last the ones I wondered about, and then I started to experiment a little bit. I like to enter a tune into the rotation. There's another pick drop. I like to take a tune. I've said it before. I like to start it on stage in front of someone. It doesn't have to be a big show or anything, but play it in front of someone where I'm on the spot, because it really forces me to probably make practical decisions. And very often, just getting the melody right is scary. This one, there's some parts, the first time through, the melody was a little scary. You know, I had to take some chances. But how do you get to where you can think this way? Well, before I talk about that, please check out mountaindulcimer.com. I've got a bunch of people over there learning how to play better. mountaindulcimer.com. There's no numbers in there. A2TOZ.com. And also, please go to StevenSeifert.com, join my mailing list. Even if you think you're already on it, go ahead and join it again. It's the best way to make sure I've got your latest info. And hey, would you please get the word out about these if you like them? And if you don't like these Dulcimer diaries, please tell people. You know, tell them you don't like them. But either way, if you want to keep seeing them, it really helps if you do hit like and subscribe. And if you don't like them, please hit unlike and please hit unsubscribe. It's the best thing about all this. You can find the people that resonate with you and how you want to do things. That's what this is about, right? So how did I do things? I started off learning to play by ear with a little keyboard, just picking out tunes I'd heard my whole life. Little fragments. That's important. Not whole tunes, little fragments. I learned to read music a little bit, but it was hard. I also spent time making things up. And then I would always enter into some upcoming performance that scared me to death. And I was careful about what I picked too. I knew how to say no, but I always picked things that were just a little beyond my abilities, and it kind of pulled me along. And all these years I've been working on mostly improvising and making stuff up, but always trying to get my ear better. And always trying to get a little better at reading. You don't have to do all that. You can come up with your own recipe diary. The important thing is you probably are mostly going to do it the way you can do it. We don't need to be apologetic about that. We are who we are, you know. You can change things, but it's important to look at what your strengths are, I think, and build on those. And it's so important. There's so many different ways to enjoy music, to share music, to learn music. There's some ways that'll resonate most with you. Like you like to learn it this way, and you like to do it this way, and you like to share it this way. But you don't have to just stick with those. You can do it the other ways a little bit too, and it all can make for a very nice recipe. Anyway, let me play another tune. This is a lot of talking. I had to get it off my chest, this idea that I don't know. But if you've known me my whole life, I probably act different when I'm with you than I do on Dulcimer Diary. Thank God, right? I mean. All right, what's one more? What do you want to hear? Let's see. There's this one tune, I hate to even bring it up because it's scaring me right now that I'm bringing it up. Let's see. Have you heard that? And then the B part, I think, goes. Something like that. It's this chicken song, right? So you got to make this chicken sound. We're in the key of D, and I'm going up to this third from the second note of the scale up to the third note. Like that. There's a few different ways I could do that. But I'm thinking of A. But the problem with A, there's problems. Let's just see what happens. I'm going to capo at 4 and do it in a different key so I can get that. Yeah. I want to do it without the bend right now. I could bring in the bend later, but I don't like having to rely on it. You know, doing it the third time through at a climactic point, that's cool. It also tends to make the string go flat, and it's, anyway. With this 6, 6.5, I've got it. Now, some of you have 1.5 frets, and I know you're thinking, why don't you just get a 1.5 fret? I like them. I could. I'm just not. At some point, right? You got to pick your, you got to pick your poison. B part. What's this called? Is it the chicken reel? I don't know. When I mess up, I just keep going. Good tune, right? How could I get that little? I could do that a little. Yeah, like that. Get the timing right. It's not easy. That's cool. Anyway. That's one I'm scared to play. You can tell me slowing down, trying to get the melody right. But I think there's some options. There's some possibilities. What I hope happens after I play a tune in front of people that I'm not quite ready to play, and I usually wouldn't pick one that weird for me, is at home I'll start picking around on it, thinking about it. Next time I play it, it'll probably be pretty good. You know, it'll be okay. And then the question comes, can you make it into something great? Maybe not, but it's worth a shot. Hey, thanks for hanging out with me today, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Please leave some comments, and, you know, make sure you're being yourselves when you leave those comments. Unless it's something that would get you arrested. Then don't leave any comments. I'll see you later. Thanks a lot. Adios.